sorry for that. So today we will be looking for that introduction to IoT, applications of IoT, hardwares used for IoT, including the softwares also, and some clouds and protocols that are mandatory whenever we need to learn in case if you are going with IoT. Okay. So introduction to IoT. So what is an IoT? In the sense, it can be simply said as a thing that which requires internet. Okay, for basically what and all in previous days we will be known with the internet in the sense only for computers and mobile phones. Now it has been updated towards smart TVs, smart lights, smart bulb, as well as smart industry. Everything has been created as a smart. For example, if you are looking for a storage through online servers such as Amazon Web Service, then online cloud storage like iCloud, Google Cloud, these are all mentally known for storages. These are all comes under IoT only, but it cannot be highlighted in the form of IoT as it is a virtual storage. Then at the same time controlling an home automation, controlling a light through your mobile which is connected to the internet, that and all comes under IoT side. So it can be simply said as a network of internet connected to objects able to exchange the data, so you can communicate with the devices. So the communication may be in the form of any languages. You might have created some web page or app regarding that, but the main requirement is internet. Internet of things is nothing but connecting physical devices to the internet. So what are the physical devices over here? In the sense our fan, light, etc. So I think I would be disabling that webcam. So now you guys can see it clearly. So interconnecting all the devices with a common communication, it is nothing but Internet of Things. Before Internet of Things, these things are controlled with the help of GSM or any of the manually purpose. But the plus point of Internet of Things is nothing but we will be able to monitor their duration period also, from what time till what time it was turned on or it was turned off, or any fault has been acquired. So the advanced level of the Internet of Things can be said as a digital twin, which can be seen in Azure, Microsoft Azure. So they provide a huge amount of services for IoT, even Amazon Web Service also. So Mr. Kevin Ashton is an inventor of this Internet of Things. So they have invented only to communicate between the hardware devices, which will be a good assistance for human. For example, in industry there will be n number of conveyors and n number of lights or some of the switch controls. So from a single control room they can monitor with the help of internet. So what they need is the required sensors and the connectivities, and they require a display at the control room and a web page or any of the web link, which will be easier to monitor as well as control. So applications of IoT. Applications of IoT in the sense it has a vast area of application, like we can use it in home as well as for industries, then regarding education, then for industries in the sense for storing the data as well as collecting the data. So are you able to hear me, guys? Applications of IoT in the sense where and all it's going to be used. So it comes under education and commercial purpose, industrial purpose, healthcare. These are all some of the major applications where IoT plays a major role. So first let us see what it plays in education. So nowadays we are seeing many online e-learning suppliers such as Byju's, then Udemy courses. Similarly to the Udemy courses, we have Educomp. So these and all comes under education applications only. Through internet, they have started to teach the classes. It is nothing but whenever we go for virtual classes, whatever we thought is something, but it is very difficult to grab something, the attention of the students. But now they have made it easier through video conferencing or through slide sharing or making some animated things which will grab their students attention as easy as possible, and through that they will understand the concepts very easily. And it has been promoted even to that online exams which will be able to monitor. Even if we see for that online exams currently which are going, means webcam is must. They are not supposed to turn towards the left or right. If they turn, means the examination will be cancelled. So this is nothing but the current technologies that and all applied for examination. So these and all comes under the IoT region. So nowadays everyone is going with a smart classroom even in their schools and colleges, so they can visually animate it, but these things are stored inside a cloud, so they can access with the help of their ID and password. So here also that IoT plays a major role. Then whenever we go for a smart city application, in the sense we can monitor for the traffic. For example, in our Google Maps, now the traffic has been updated frequently. So whether it is rush or not, or it will automatically shift to that alternative way, in which way the traffic is lesser, and what is the temperature of the current environment. And for advanced level, even nowadays the school buses also has been tracked with the help of Internet of Things with a particular GPSs. So each and every parents can track the school bus through which their children are going to the school. So it will be very helpful in the form of security reasons. So security, here we can talk about two types of security. One is the cloud security, and another thing is what to say about the people's privacy. So these two will be differed. So whenever we go for that cloud security, in the sense it should not be hacked by some other people, because our data requires more security. Because if the more valuable data means, and it should be kept privated and it should be secured clearly. And the people security, in the sense, for example, if there is an emergency and they have to message to some police station, or they have to call some ambulance, means now there are many applications. To work that applications, internet is must. So what I am coming to say, in the sense, internet is a mandatory only for the communication. They have added to our regular uses, so which makes everyone gets easier. So healthcare applications. So each and every patient's data will be uploaded to the respective hospital server. Whenever they require, they can take for their reference purpose. If he is feeling well, or if they want to collect their past data, that also is easy. Because if we go to consult any other doctor, means the first thing the doctor will be asked, do you have any prescriptions previously given by any other doctor? So we should have some proof for that, so that can be taken from online. So it will be a valid consultant whenever we are getting from the online, as well as we can easily share it with other doctors, as well as for our future references. So previously I have explained about the smart city. So that is the thing. IoT in agriculture. So IoT also plays a major role in agriculture. How? In the sense, to measure that moisture, temperature level, at what time the water pump should be turned on and turned off, we can set it automatically. Then we can use field monitoring with the help of drones. and those will be connected with the help of internet protocol cameras towards a control room, so it can be easily monitored, and we can diagnose the disease with the help of internet of things. So these are all some of the applications. And toll collection, so now everyone will be aware of that FASTag. So FASTag, in the sense, you will be having one RFID. When you reach the toll, it will start to read your RFID number, which is a unique ID. So that unique ID contains your vehicle details and its owner details, and the payment can be done through online, as well as prepaid payments are also available. So IoT in the cars. So IoT in the cars is nothing but we can go with the latest trending cars such as Hyundai Venue, then BMW, Audi. So these and all high-end cars are connected to the Internet of Things, which can be connected with our mobile phone for tracking purpose, or for locking purpose, for security purpose. So tracking, in the sense, we will come to know where it is getting parked or where our current car is available. Then even it will be updating us that service times, just reminding us. So these are all some of that applications which will be applied to the cars. So IoT in transportation. So whenever you order something through online, you will be able to monitor it through the maps as well as the messages. So that is nothing but completely based on the IoT applicant only. For example, if you are ordering some of that couriers or some gadgets in your Flipkart, it is updating that it has reached in this hub. It is reaching in this hub, you will be delivered by this day. So it is nothing but it a kind of transportation tracking only. Then if you go for Swiggy or Zomato, like that, if you order that food, means we can look for their traveling map, at what place they are, so when they will be reaching, what is the reason they are getting late. So everything can be monitored with the help of app itself. Similarly, when we book a taxi such as Ola or Uber cabs, we can completely monitor with the help of the phone. The only thing we require is internet and our personal ID with password. So industrial applications. As I have given a small hint before. So we can measure that industrial environment temperature, and we can detect the fault through it. So how much amount of current has been consumed, how much amount of voltage has been passed through the system, and at the same time we can turn on and turn off with the help of our monitoring or control system, which is placed in the control room. We can also record the set of data that has been generated by the complete machine. So previously, which was used in industrial applications, in the sense PLC and SCADA, they were most famous for that. But for PLC and SCADA, what is the drawback we have found it is, in the sense, PLC will be having we need a large area of room for that, for creating that particular environment, and we need some air conditioners regarding the room size to cool down the system. So there are many PLC companies, even though they are communicated through the wired mode, but the requirement is we are expensing more amount on that, for regarding that room, as well as their components, their architectures, everything. So that can be reduced with the help of industrial applications. How, in the sense, so if you are replacing these things with the help of our Internet of Things and with our electrical or electronic components, means we can easily be controlled with our day-to-day life computer, which you are keeping on using it. The thing which we require is a common secured server, particular link for that, and a controller. But whereas if we go for the PLC and SCADA, means we need a huge setup for that programmable logic controller, and we will be sending the data towards the SCADA for a monitoring purpose. These two are different, and the common thing in IoT and PLC SCADA is nothing but it can be controlled remotely from anywhere. So hardwares used in IoT. So hardwares used in the IoT means there are many hardwares that can be used for IoT. There are some special hardwares that are made only for the IoT. So those hardwares are nothing but ESP8266, Intel Edison, Raspberry Pi. So these are all specially made only for the purpose of IoT, and the Arduino blocks and Arduino ESP8266, these three will be used as a support controllers. Even if you have a Wi-Fi module, you can add it to any of the microcontroller and you can access the IoT applications. Okay, so the difference between this ESP8266 Node MCU and the Raspberry Pi is only between the language communication, whereas in Node MCU you will be using the complete C structure, and in Raspberry Pi you will be using the complete Python structure. So that only will make you the different. Whenever we go for that architecture design, this is only a controller. The Node MCU will act as only the controller. The Raspberry Pi will be acting as a processor as well as the controller. How in the sense we can use it as a mini system. So we will be booting the OS, and we will be using the Linux operating system, and we can use it for further development applications within that itself. So if we need to connect any of the sensors, means we can connect it to its GPIO pins, and if you want to process any data such as image processing or data processing, or to upload any of the data towards the cloud, we can access the Raspberry Pi easily. So the softwares which have to be thorough for programming, or we have to learn anything regarding the IoT, means we should be thorough with C as well as Python. It depends upon the hardware which you are going to use. So whenever we go for that IoT, cloud plays a major role. Even there are many protocols or some other things additional for IoT. The first phase is nothing but the cloud. Even if you want to access the MQTT, means we want to first know about the particular cloud, then only we will be able to access, or we shall pass some messages to it. So here some of the clouds that are used for IoT is nothing but ThingWorx, Amazon Web Service, IBM Watson, Cisco, Internet of Things, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, ThingSpeak. So these are some of the clouds that are frequently used by researchers, students, or those who are doing the current projects also. We regularly use the ThingSpeak cloud, and today we will be going for ThingSpeak cloud as well as Microsoft Azure. So we will be having a slight discussion about the Google Cloud, which is used for particularly for SMT protocol. So what are the difference between these clouds? In the sense only that API or the creating way only will be differed. Rest all the applications will be same. For example, if you are taking this AWS, Amazon Web Service, what are their necessities and what is their application? In the sense they provide a vast area of storage for all the people through their ID, but the thing is that it is a rented one. So all this except ThingSpeak, the rest of them all are rented clouds. They will be charging according to your use. So Amazon Web Service is mainly providing their support for two things. One is for the Netflix as well as the Prime Video. So whenever you are want to watch a movie, you will be just logging to that with your unique ID and password. So with the help of the unique ID and password, you will be able to easily access. Even they will be monitoring your card which you have mentioned it, because once again if you change your mail ID and if you enter the same card, you are not allowed for their free subscriptions. So that is the main thing. So for Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, Amazon Web Service provide the complete server structure, And the Google Cloud, the Google Photos, your Gmail, your Google Drive, everything will be accessed with the help of Google Cloud. So recently Cisco has started their WebEx for doing some online meetings through online web meetings. So it is done only with the help of their own webcam, sorry, not webcam, web server. So web server, in the sense, those who have their own web servers, they can start their multiple business easily, even for IoT applications or virtual machines or artificial intelligence, deep learning. Why I have particularly mentioned the deep learning and artificial intelligence, in the sense, many of the system those are using doesn't have a much environment thing or environment capabilities. So they will rent a server which has a higher capabilities of their servers or their systems, so they can program it and they can execute everything through that server. So with the help of that server, we can access it easier. So with the help of that server, they can access it easier and execute their tasks. For example, Microsoft Azure, they provide a vast area for AI, even Amazon Web Service. So these two things will be providing a huger area for their AI specialities. For example, within these clouds itself, we can use for text to speech conversion, recognition, and as well as neural networks. So these and all can be directly applied to the cloud, and if at the end application they will be releasing it as an app or any of their electronic product, so through that we will be able to use it easily. The Amazon Web Service AI end product is nothing but our own Alexa, nothing but the Echo Dot. So they have released the different versions of Echo Dot. How it can be said as a artificial intelligence, in the sense, whenever we ask or whenever we give a particular task, it will be responding to us. So the mode of communication is done only with the help of internet. So the hardware will be having only the thing is nothing but the speaker, a Wi-Fi connectivity, and the mic. So we will be giving the input through that mic, and it will be processed in the cloud, and we will be getting the output with through the speaker. So this is nothing but the basic operation and the role that IoT which has been played in artificial intelligence, because the details what we are asking for is everything stored inside the cloud, and those clouds will be can be accessed only with the help of the system. So protocol. So when we go for a protocols, protocols are more mandatory for Internet of Things. Some of the protocols we will be frequently using for Internet of Things are nothing but MQTT, SMTP, TCP. These are some of the protocols. Among these protocols, MQTT is the most highest protocol that has been used everywhere. So MQTT is nothing but message queuing telemetry transport. So we are passing our messages from one machine to another machine through a telemetry system. That is nothing but message queuing telemetry transport. And example for this is nothing but WhatsApp. Whatever we send the messages through WhatsApp, we require internet. Internet is necessary for WhatsApp, and we can share many amount of details through WhatsApp itself. For example, nowadays we can share the documents, videos, and some of the GIF files. These and all some of the mode of files that can be shared through WhatsApp. Previously, WhatsApp was enabled only with the help of sending text messages. That too, we have to we should have only the connectivity of internet. Previously, the each and every messages will be sent based on the MBs and KBs that are present inside our net balance, and now we are not looking for the net balance at all, as we are avail of free daily 1 GB per day. So now we started with another thing such as video call and conference through internet calls, that and all comes under the MQTT protocol, because MQTT protocol, in the sense we will be having the unique ID, so through that unique channel only we will be able to communicate it. So I will show you that architecture. So we will be having a unique channel, and through that unique channel or the topic we will be communicating it. So here, what is our unique channel in our WhatsApp? Our mobile number. So that will be acting as a channel. So whenever we message to the concerned person, if he has that same channel or the topic name, we will be able to receive it. So similarly he can also send it. So for this, we will be technically, it will share, said as publish and subscribe. So publish in the sense sending a message, subscribe in the sense receiving a message. So we shall see some of the demo regarding that. So at first let us see the publish. I think everyone will be able to see this thing. So here I am going to use the thing is nothing but paho.mqtt.client. Okay, so here I have started with the publishing of messages. So this is nothing but the common while loop, and the functions are nothing but client equal to mqtt.client. So client is nothing but, here my mobile phone will be the client. So inside that I will be installing my one app known as my MQTT. I will show it you. And client.connect is nothing but I am connecting to this protocol, nothing but broker.mqtt-dashboard.com, and the port number is nothing but it is 1883, 60. Client.publish in the sense this is my topic name, which the same topic name I have to enter into my phone, and the message passed to my phone is nothing but the hello world. So after sending the message, client.disconnect off. I have given it in the while loop in the sense to continuously pass the message to my mobile phone. So now I will show you the app which is to be used for that. So you can see that my MQTT. So till now I don't have any of the messages in my dashboard. So how to subscribe in the sense, I think it won't be a little bit problem due to the glare of light. So here you will be having the subscribe option. Just click on it. If you just enter the topic name, here I have written it as JI, so that will be my topic name. So whenever I run the code, if my system and the phone has been connected to internet, it will automatically start to send the messages. So now just I am running the code. So you won't be able to see here what and all the messages are passed. So now I have entered that topic. So I have started to receive the messages in my phone. So continuously it will be displaying the messages, and I can see all the messages in my dashboard. So this is the publishing mode of MQTT. So next we shall look for that how to subscribe into the system. So for subscribing, what and all we need is nothing but the same header file. This pyhao.mqtt client is available in Python. You have to install it with the help of pip install. Okay, so here I have defined the connect, then I have defined that message to be printed what it has been received from my phone, and the connections and the commands will be the same as for publishing itself. So here what we have to change, in the sense we have to change it as client.subscribe, and here I have given the topic name as B. So here I have used the topic name as B, and the same topic name I should enter it. So before that I will zoom. So here I have created two functions, one for connecting towards a port and another one to receive the message. So here I have given the same connection port such as 1883 and broker.mqtt-dashboard.com. Now just I will run the code and I will send the message. So just log into the app, select the publish option, first give the topic name, then give the message. So I have published the message nothing but the hi all. So it will get some delay to receive that message. So from the B channel it has received the message as hi all. So this is nothing but the work of subscribe. If you have any doubts you can comment it out. Our technical support are online, so they will be helping to clarify your doubts. Okay, so this is nothing but the working of MQTT. So I will wait for 10 seconds. If you have any doubt means you can just post it in the comment, so they will be sorting it out. So let's move on to the next task. So next task is nothing but SMT protocol. So what is SMT protocol? In the sense, simple mail transfer protocol. So nowadays whenever you send any of the queries regarding any of your products that you have been purchased to the company mail, you will be receiving an instant mail that this is the ID, this is the person. Or for example, if you ask nearby service centers through mail, means they will be mailing you some list of service centers within a span of 2 to 3 minutes. So that and all happened with the help of chatbot as well as SMT protocol. So how it works in the sense, chatbot will be assigned to get some keywords. For example, if you are sending that, if you need to know the service centers in T Nagar, so it will take that keyword as T Nagar, and the chatbot is specially designed only for sending regarding the service center details. So it will be receiving that complete list inside what and all is nearly available service centers in T Nagar, and it will mail towards to the particular mail ID from which it has been received automatically. So that is nothing but it has worked with the help of SMT protocol. So for that purpose, what and all we require in the sense, this is nothing but subprocess, because through subprocess we can access the shell terminal in Raspberry Pi as well as in Windows. For that purpose only we are calling the subprocess, and time is nothing but to create the delay function OS global SMTP lib. The library for simple mail transfer protocol is this thing. It is already available in all Python as an inbuilt library. So in mail function we will be having different different separate files, such as text file or a image file or a multi-part file. So here the image file is nothing but sending an image through the mail. This is used for security purpose. I think in some of the mobiles there are some security purpose other than the particular or respective owner. If they have tried to unlock the mobile, at the second itself the mail will be sent to that owner, and it will send to the mail, this person has tried to access the mobile. So that is nothing but it is done by batch some of the files. I mean, if you want to send some Excel data or documents, and if you want to send some group of images as a WinRAR file, so these and all can be done with the help of multipart. Then text in the sense, to send that text inside the body of the mail. So I think some of them have started to use my mail ID, and they have started to access it. I can receive that security over here, and please don't use it. So now what is the thing in the sense, this is my user ID and this is my password, so it will get automatically log into that system. So from mail ID should be entered over here to mail ID, and in this mail ID I will be able to see what I have is hello. So this is nothing but to send the text, and this sort of area is nothing but to send the image, and this is nothing but to make the server connection. So I think I have said you about that Google Cloud. So each and every cloud will be having their own port number. So here I am using the port number as 587. Previously it was 465, and now everyone will be using it as 587 for Gmail cloud. So I have to access with smtp.gmail.com. so this will be that mail which will be accessing it automatically. Once it get access, it will print it as smtp.gmail. Then next it will be printing it as hello. It is nothing but we are enabling that server command. So after that it will be starting to read the list. So the list in the sense, the sender's mail ID as well as the receiver's mail ID. So the sender's mail ID, password, and receiver's mail ID will be taken in the form of list. So first it will be reading that sender's mail ID and the password. It will try to match the password which you have given. If the password is true, it will start to log in inside, and it will generate the text which I have given previously in the body section, and after that it will be typing that from mail ID within that particular then 2 as well as with the same function. So here you can see that function name server dot send mail from comma 2, and the message which you have written over there will be taken in the form of string, and else the server will be closed. Therefore the mail has been successfully sent. In case if you are giving the wrong ID and the wrong password, then you will be receiving the message as failed to send mail, and this will be displayed even if it is not possible to access that smtp.gmail.com, because in some of the system they might have enabled their antivirus or internet security. So regarding that, it will be it is not possible to send the mail through smtp unless until you disable it, and you also have to enable that less secure app in your Gmail account. Then only it will be able to log in to your mail ID, else you will be receiving only the security message. So now let us run the code. It has started its function smtp.gmail hello command start list reading mail ID and password, and it has entered the from and successfully sent the mail. Now let us see the mail. So now we can see that just now only it has received the mail. The time is nothing but 11:46 a.m. and the body of the letter email is nothing but the hello, and subject is nothing but security, from address is mine. So this is nothing but how to work with SMT protocol. So I will wait for 10 seconds. If you have any doubt, you can ping it on the comment section. My colleagues will be helping you to solve the doubt. So I think we can go with the next section. So the next thing we will be looking for is nothing but cloud. So today we will be going to look for the two clouds. One is ThinkSpeak and another one is Microsoft Azure. So for first we will go for ThinkSpeak cloud. So if I say about the ThinkSpeak cloud, it is a cloud which is provided by MathWorks, nothing but the team of MATLAB. I think many of them will be known to the MATLAB and MathWorks. It is nothing but it is a simulation software that has been provided specially for the engineers, and here we will be using it for a cloud purpose. So this ThinkSpeak is supported by MathWorks. Those who have MATLAB ID, they can log into this. Even if MATLAB ID is not available, you can log in with your Gmail ID itself. They have a separate option whenever you give for the sign up purpose. So here we have that import time, then import system, import OS, and here we are using the main libraries in nothing but URL lib.request. If you are using that Python 2, you better go for URL lib. If you are using Python 3, you write it as URL lib.request. So with the help of the common URL of API, we will be accessing our system as well as the cloud. So where the API, in the sense, this will be the API key. This API key is nothing but application interface key. it differs from this method will be differed from cloud to cloud. So in this ThingSpeak cloud, the API key will be in this format, whereas if you go for that Microsoft Azure, you can see some string oriented things. So string of data, that will be known as your API key, and here I have given it as 15 seconds of delay. So generally if you want to uh, add that data regarding any of the sensor value, for example temperature data or pulse data or humidity data, so we will be giving at minimum 15 seconds of delay, so that the data that has been sent to the cloud will be accurate. That is the only reason we have kept it as 15 seconds. We can also reduce it to the number of seconds which we required. So now I am reducing it to 5 seconds, so that you can see that data that has been uploaded. So here this URL plays a major role. This URL is nothing but to link your API key towards the cloud. So once you enter that API key, it will start to search for this particular API key, and after accessing that particular cloud data, it will start to send the data which has been entered over here. So instead of this distance equal to 50, you can add any of the sensor data, live sensor reading, or any of the data that can be entered over here. So here what it will be functioning it as, it will access that URL lib.request.url open. So it is nothing but it will match with this base URL, and it will be going for the field. So regarding the field, I will be explaining when I open the cloud, and it will be sending the data as nothing but the distance. So here I am calling again my delay function. So after each and every data, it will access this delay function. That is the main thing. So now I am going to log into the ThingSpeak cloud. So I have used my own ID over here. So the first thing whenever you log into the cloud, it says channels. So I have almost created many channels over here. So here I am logging with my mail ID. So it has logged into my personal ID. So whenever you go for the first time, you will be having only one option, that to create a channel. So click on the new channel, enter the name of the channel, description in the sense what is the use of it, and you can select the number of fields you require. For example, if you are using 8 sensors, you can use 8 fields. If you are using only one sensor, you can use it as one field. So it depends upon the purpose of the use, and after selecting it, just scroll it down and click on save channel. So regarding the save channel, it will create the channel. So these are my some of the channels. So I am entering into my monitoring channel. So how to select that API key? So whenever you log into the channel, you can see that field in the form of a graphical representation. So this graphical representation in the sense only the data of the particular file, I mean, or from the sensor which you are sending from the machine. So this Python code, the same Python code can be used in your Raspberry Pi itself. So you have to click on API keys, then select write API key, copy it, and paste it in my API which I have been already provided. So this is my unique ID. So whenever I send the data, it will start to send the data only towards this API key. So now I will be sending my data as 500. So now I will run. So here it has started that connecting to my URL lib, and this is my API key. So what and all I have uploading the data can be viewed over here. So for now, for each and every 5 seconds it will be uploading the data. So for just now it has uploaded the 500, and this is nothing but it can show the day, date and time of uploading your data. So each and every 5 seconds it will be uploading continuously it as 500. If you add the sensors to your controller and if you do this process means it will be varying upon to the sensors value. For example, if you are using the ultrasonic sensor means it will be varying the distance. If you are using that temperature means it will be varying the temperature. Humidity means humidity percentage. So if you have any of the doubts in connecting ThingSpeak towards the Python, you can approach to our comment section. I'll be waiting for you. Okay guys, let's go for the next. So next we will be looking for that Microsoft Azure. So you have heard that name Azure in many places. Those are currently looking for IoT projects and all. So this is nothing but it is an particular hub only for the purpose of Internet of Things. It is a major purpose of that releasing that hub is only for the purpose of research and studies. So you will be availing only the free account only for 1 month, else you want to pay that additional amount regarding your service which you require. For example, if you are getting a paid hub means you have to pay according to that. If you want a free tier hub means you want to pay only the rent of that account. So it differs based on that their terms and conditions. You can check it through the online. So for now I am logging into the Microsoft Azure. So I have logged into my free account. So here I am going to sign in. So I have signed into my account. So this is nothing but the Azure cloud service. So you cannot see any of your accessibilities in their main page. Once you log into their site only, you will be able to see it. So I am logging into my portal. So due to that network connectivity is slow, it is getting delayed. So our Pantech solution has started online internships as well as online webinars. So if you guys want to get these materials, it has been uploaded to the link of that materials has been uploaded over that particular drive. You can download it from there. So this is nothing but your Azure portal. This page can only be seen if you are a member of Azure Cloud. So you have the various supporting such as IoT Hub, Monitor, Virtual Machines, App Services, Storage Accounts, SQL Database, then Digital Twin, Artificial Intelligence. So this is only the general categories that are provided by Microsoft Azure, and here we will be using IoT Hub. Here we will be using that IoT Hub. So I have already created a hub that can be used only for the purpose of monitoring. So here for the monitoring purpose we are doing the two things. One, uploading the data to the cloud in the form of graphical presentation. At the same time we are also sending the message as a MQTT protocol. So these two things will be done over here. So how to create a hub in the sense, click on add. You will be redirecting to another window for creating a new. For creating a hub it will take nearly 10 to 15 minutes, because first it has to open and we have to give many credentials for that. So I will just give you that free instruction. So here it is nothing but it is asking for the project details. So we are using that free trial version. So it is asking what is that resource group. In order to create new, existing one means click on this select existing. So here nothing but Pantech IoT, that is the created one. So after this we have to give for the next size scale. and after providing that next scale, we have to select the tire which we require. Tire in the sense it is nothing but a function. So standard tire, basic tire and free tire, those are used only for the purpose of increasing the uh, usage, I mean the cloud storage. Each will be having the different storage. If you are going for a free tire, we will be having only the limited storage. Basic tire will be advanced and standard tire will be the highest one. For standard tire, you will have to pay around 4 lakh per day. Why it is written as 4 lakh? This is nothing but about the Indian money, since we are accessing from India. Actually they used to represent everything in the dollars only, so that is the thing. So if we can go for the free tire, in free tire we will be able to send 8000 message per day. So this is a tire feature I have selected for my IoT hub. So after creating these datas, you just click on review plus create. After clicking on review plus create, it will take around 5 minutes to create that IoT hub. So now I will just log into my hub. So this is nothing but the main page of the hub. So here we can view all the things which has been enabled over here. So this is nothing but previously when I have done a project, I have uploaded some data over there. So almost 8 messages has been transmitted by the system, and this will be the graph which has been seen. So the yesterday's messages, you can see it on a blue line. So this is nothing but it is showing that yesterday's message, and if I send today's message, it will be uploaded again and it won't be rewritten. It will store the data with existing itself. So once after creating that hub which we require, we have to log in towards the hub, and we have to select an option known as IoT devices, because the message we send from each and every system, it is known as a IoT device. So you can see in that overview of the hub, one device is connected. That one device is in the sense my device only. Okay, so here it will display the devices. From this device only we should take the device. I just click it. So here you can see many of the strings after creating my device. So just check for the primary connection string. So this is nothing but the API in Azure. So here it is known as connection string, not as a API, but both the functionalities are same. So click on copy. It will copy the link which you require. Again you hide it, then go for that respective code. And here I have returned the code only for uploading the temperature as well as the humidity to that IoT hub. So this completely works only for the alerting system as well as monitoring system. So here you can see that I have used only the two header files, random and time. Random is nothing but to collect the random data which has been uploaded to the from this program, and as well as the time is nothing but it acts as a delay. So here the temperature will be the 20 and humidity will be the 60. It will be constantly sending as a text format through MQTT protocol. So here we are connecting our hub with our system. So this connection string requires that particular ID, so I am pasting it over here. So after pasting it, So here I have defined into two different conditions. Nothing but one is for connecting with the client and another one is for sending the message as telemetry. So here the temperature and humidity messages will be sent in the form of telemetry. If the temperature value is greater than 30, it will start to alert, else it won't give an alert message. So hence it will be this kind of printing commands are nothing but to know that the message has been sent. So just I will run the code. And just I will restart the program. So there is an issue with my hub which I have been created. It is this issue is nothing but since I have used it over than the free trial, they have cancelled that particular ID, and I'm extremely sorry for that. You can see that output in what way it will be. So whenever the message has been sent to the system, you can just see it in the form of overview itself. So now it will be loading the previous data which I have been sent already. So now the messages has been sent even today also. I mean for now it has sent the two messages at the same time, and you can see the data over here. Due to that it is a free trial account, I am not able to access for a long time, so you can see that message only for the short period of time. So this is the messages which have been sent daily, and this is the device which have been connected, and you can see what will be the today's data over here. So this is the message read at this time. So you can see at 12:07 I have sent the message. And since the telemetry message it cannot be duration for the long time, I did not receive the cloud message. I have received only the twin operation of the device. So this will be the last of this session. So before that I would like to say that our future events will be conducted on 11th May, webinar on design and implement of deployment of IoT initiative by NIT Rourkela. So for registration you can collect this link, and on 13th May webinar on machine learning algorithms for computer vision. So you can collect look for this link to register, and for online summer internship you can click on this link for registration. So these links are also provided inside our comment box. You can collect it from there also. We will also be sharing this PPT towards you, as well as the code which has been working, so you can try it on yourself. Try to do more amount of projects regarding this. So since this is a quarantine time, I think everyone will be having their time to spend on their own ideas and researches. Make use of it and stay safe. Thank you. For any further regards, you can contact our office members. So this will be the contact number for further regarding